Hey, what's up, everybody? Friday. Yeah. So we got a lot going on. Let's get right into it. First of all, I want to talk about this very strong rally in the dollar that has occurred over the last, day. Really took off, started taking off last night or yesterday, intensifying today. Nothing has changed. Let me go on record as saying that the fundamental drivers of the dollar's long-term downtrend, and it is in a long-term downtrend now, and I spelled out many times for you the reason for that: fiscal expansion, rate setting higher by the Federal Reserve, and this very important story in the background, and not so much in the background anymore. You're starting to see not just more and more stories covering this, but you're actually starting to see it reflected in some of the data. I talked about this the other day in the share of dollar-denominated SWIFT transactions. Those are money transfers, etc. That sort of data is the ongoing de-dollarization, the move by the rest of the world to seek alternatives to the U.S. dollar. Now, I've said in the past, the rest of the world doesn't really want to do this. Okay, it's not being driven by what all the quacks and the kooks and the knuckleheads have said in the past, but too much debt and they're printing too much money. No, it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with policies that are emanating out of Washington, which essentially entail the weaponization of the dollar, using the dollar as a weapon of foreign policy, as a weapon almost of war policy, sanctions, tariffs, closing people out, or entities or entire nations out of the dollar-denominated transaction and clearing system, that thing. So this is a very big thing. It's ongoing, and it will remain ongoing. This is one of the kind of the new weapons in the arsenal of Washington in trying to create its empire. So you have that going on. It's very big. It's not going to go away. Another thing I want to mention, as a trader, I will tell you, some people might already know this, bear market rallies are vicious. And you see the rally in the dollar today. By the way, I was selling short the dollar all yesterday. Now, all of those sales are underwater, but I'm fine. I hold on. The dollar will come back down again. No problem. And all of those sales, and I will make a video at some point down the road saying, hey, remember back on April 20th when I said I was shorting the dollar the previous day on April 19th and everything was through me and I'm holding open losses? I will eventually at some point come and say, and it won't be too long from now, hey, everything's in a profit. That's how you build a position. Nothing in the fundamental outlook has changed. The policies, the conditions remain the same. You don't do a Dennis Gartman where you get in on a set of conditions and then you get out because the price moves. That is self-sabotage. All right, that is lack of mental game. I do not do that. That's why I win every time. My people, SEAL Team 6, we do not do that. I had people who came to me as absolute novices or as traders who have had negative results in the past. And they came to me. First, they got an understanding of MMT, but then almost all of them said, Mike, it's not even the MMT. I get it now. You have transformed, fundamentally, profoundly transformed my results because of your teachings of mental game. And when I got the mental game, and it doesn't take a long time. I mean, they're probably not up to my level. And the smarter among those followers of mine, they send me emails. They say, Mike, what should I do in this situation? They still need coaching, but everybody needs a coach. Even the top people, the top athletes, they all have coaches. There's nothing wrong with that. And I help them, and they stay with it, and none of them have any losses. None of them have any losses. So the proof is in the pudding, as they say. Stock market is down. We went from a very, very intensely negative sentiment condition last week to, or I should say the week before last week or early last week, to sort of an overbought, almost pretty high level bullish condition as of the end of last week, and some of that is being unwound. By the way, everybody, we're coming close to the time when I will be making the video. We broke the line. Yes, folks, we are up to 293, 294 on the 10-year Treasury yield. And I told you all along, I never wavered. Do you know why I never wavered? Not because I'm some, a broken clock who keeps saying the same thing. Again, it comes down to policy. The policy has never changed. The Fed is on a rate hike course. When they're on a rate hike course, rates are going to go up. They are telling you that rates are going to go up. So all these guys looking at their lines, everybody with their charts, drawing lines here and there and curves and candlesticks and candelabras or whatever. I don't need that. I look at that maybe just to know what you guys are doing, and I know how to pick your pockets. I gave you that story yesterday from my days on the floor. We know how to pick your pockets. I know how to pick your pockets. I do it all the time. So bear market rallies are brutal. This is a vicious bear market rally in the dollar. Please mark this down. This is not a dollar reversal. This is not the dollar now starting to go up because somehow miraculously after 6 rate hikes, we have reached some moment in time where the 6 rate hikes are kicking in. No. And guess what? You're going to have 7 rate hikes. You're going to get another one next month. You're going to have 8 rate hikes. You're going to get another one in September. You might even get another one in December. And guess what? That's not going to help the dollar either. That is not going to help the dollar either. And then you had Trump today out with another beauty. Donald Trump today. And by the way, what is going on here in the United States with respect to the political situation is absolutely very, very disturbing. I don't know what else word can I use, but disturbing, frightening, scary today. Well, yesterday, I should say, a referral from Congress to the Justice Department to prosecute James Comey, McCabe, who was the deputy FBI director, Strzok, that guy Peter Strzok, who was in charge of the Hillary investigation, and his girlfriend, who they were exchanging notes, and he was saying how much he hated Trump, and the whole thing was skewed. Sally Yates, Loretta Lynch, who was the Attorney General at the time, Hillary Clinton, a referral from the Senate, a committee in Congress to the Justice Department to prosecute, okay? And then evidence and notes of James Comey released and other documents released showing that they were involved in outright lying, in paying for that Steele dossier, which was intended to smear Donald Trump, in leaking classified information to the media, of course, in the Hillary classified information, in basically stealing the nomination away from Bernie Sanders, collusion on their part to steal the nomination away from Bernie Sanders, a whole list of crimes. And today what we get, and there was like crickets from the media. You didn't hear anything about that. And today, the Democratic Party is suing the Trump campaign in a charge of having stole the election away from Hillary Clinton, where there was absolutely zero evidence. We've had this investigation ongoing now for 18 months? Zero evidence. And as a matter of fact, Rod Rosenstein today, the Deputy Attorney General, said that Trump is not even a target of Mueller. Now, I'm not sticking up for Trump. I'm just saying how preposterous and how absurd and how ludicrous this whole thing is becoming. The Democrats are suing the Trump campaign and Russia for having stole the election when there is no evidence of that whatsoever, yet there is now what has emerged is a mountain of evidence that shows collusion, lying, leaking to the press, unauthorized surveillance, smear documents intended to smear Trump, shielding Hillary Clinton, no investigation that went on. I mean, it's incredible. But the Democrats are suing the Trump campaign. So naturally, what do investors see when they look at this? They see turmoil, especially foreign investors. They see turmoil in the United States, in the whole political process. Who's in control? We don't know who is in control. 1 week, he's bombing Syria on an obvious false flag that even some of the mainstream media admits to now. I mean, when they admit to it. So, I mean, it's really, really crazy. But you have to blot all that out, all right? You have to stick with what the driving forces are, the true driving forces are in the market. And you have to employ the strongest mental game that you can possibly employ, which is what I do and what my followers do. So, the dollar is going back down. By the way, I have to mention that gold is acting very well today. In the past, if you would have seen a dollar rally in the magnitude of the one that we have seen over the past couple of days, I mean, gold would have gotten hit very, very hard. You would have seen it down at least 20 bucks today. Probably would have been down 15 or 20 bucks yesterday. You would have had at least a 40, 50 point correction in gold. You really didn't see that. We'll be down 9 bucks today. It's not that big of a deal. Finally, let me say this. Trump made some comments on Twitter today, where he said, hey, oil prices are too high. He's blaming OPEC. He's calling OPEC on keeping oil at artificially high prices. Now, that may be true. They are targeting higher prices, and OPEC is a cartel, and they have the ability to do that. However, having said that, don't forget that Trump wants to see rising exports of oil from the United States. So in other words, we're taking our bounty, our surplus, and we're sending it away. Well, that's not going to keep prices down when you do something like that. And he's very happy when Saudi Arabia is buying hundreds of billions of dollars worth of U.S. weapons. They're going to need money to do that. So these things are incongruous. Those two things are incongruous with the idea that he wants lower oil prices. You're not going to get lower oil prices when you are fostering a very significant expansion in exports of domestic oil. You're sending it away. Our bounty, our surplus is being sent away. That's not going to equate to lower prices. And when you have this brand new customer, because Trump thinks we need the money, we need the dollars, so we're going to sell them arms and weapons. By the way, the Saudis are also our proxy fighters in Syria and in Yemen, and they need money to do that, okay? So it's another one of these crazy comments or statements by Trump. I want lower oil. Well, you want lower oil? Don't ship it away. Don't send away the domestic surplus. And don't expect Saudi Arabia to engage in the purchase of hundreds of billions of dollars worth of U.S. armaments and be the proxy army for our wars in Syria and Yemen without them having the money to do so. So you're not going to get lower oil, regardless. And anyone who's selling oil today based on that is just... that's a zombie. That is the definition of a zombie right there. All right, folks, that's it. I got to get back to work. It is It is Friday. Thank goodness. Remember, MMT Trader out every week on Monday. If you want over the weekend to get the current issue and look at all the back issues, go to my website, pitbulleconomics.com, and sign up for a 30-day free trial of MMT Trader. You could spend the weekend doing some reading and educating yourself. Have a great weekend, everybody. See you back here on Monday. Bye-bye.